I've had a target on me because I refuse to erode our sanctuary city laws, and I have refused to do this. My mission is and will be when I am mayor is to protect the immigrants of the city of New York. New York is a city made up of immigrants, so it is our responsibility to make sure that all New Yorkers, our old New Yorkers and our newer New Yorkers, feel safe in this city. As mayor, I will not kowtow to Donald Trump. Donald Trump will know that New York will remain a sanctuary city regardless of his threats and his chaos.
That was New York City Council Speaker and candidate for mayor of New York, Adrienne Adams, at last week's Democratic primary debate. The issue of immigration now taking on growing importance in that crowded primary field following President Trump's decision to mobilize active military in Los Angeles. And joining us now is Democratic candidate for New York City Mayor, Adrienne Adams. Speaker, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
We were talking about that debate, slightly chaotic with 9 people on stage, but you broke through. Let's take up the issue you were talking about right there. Mayor Karen Bass is in the position that you were talking about there as a hypothetical. She's dealing with it right now. If President Trump, and you are mayor, turns his sights on New York City and has these immigration raids that bring people out into the streets and says, I'm sending in the National Guard, I'm going to send United States Marines there, what would be your response?
Well, we've got to fight against that. This is New York. And as far as the situation in California right now, come on, it's manufactured. It is absurd to think that the National Guard, the Marines, all of this, military power is being brought in for protesters. I think not. I think this is a distraction from what's really going on in Trump land right now, and that is the big ugly bill that he doesn't want all of us to talk about. That is the real story here. Why are we manufacturing protesters and the National Guard and everything over, ICE raids, which certainly are illegal in a sanctuary city?
I assume you would have confidence in the NYPD, the greatest police force in the country, just as Mayor Bass has confidence in the LAPD to handle a protest like that. 1,000%.
The NYPD is the best in the nation when it comes to handling law enforcement. I would put my trust in them any day of the week.
So let's talk big picture about this race. You have the sitting mayor, Eric Adams, who's not running as a Democrat. He's going to come in at the end as an independent. You have the former governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo, with all that lineage and that name in New York, huge name ID, people seeing him early on as the front runner. You have a young candidate named Zohran Mamdani in the race. He's getting some momentum as well. People now, after the debate especially, I think, when people hadn't tuned in until then, maybe speaking about you quite a bit. AOC said she'd rank you second in this ranked choice voting. So how do you break through with someone like Cuomo, who's so well known, and people go, oh, yeah, I know him? Or do you think they're so exhausted by him, perhaps, that they're looking elsewhere?
There may be a little of both, quite frankly, but my campaign has so much momentum right now. People are so excited to see me in this race. I am the Speaker of the New York City Council, an everyday New Yorker living the life of my neighbors that I have. I've been in the same home for over 35 years, raised 4 children there. So I'm that everyday New Yorker. But I have also led a body of 50 council members for over 3 years now, a women majority and the most diverse city council in the history of the city of New York. So I'm coming in here having already done the work, doing the work as we speak, negotiated successfully 3 city budgets, now negotiating our 4th, $115 billion. That's nothing to sneeze at. So I'm doing the job, I'm doing the work, and I am looking to be the first woman mayor of the city of New York.
So, Madam Speaker, you have picked up some key endorsements lately. Attorney General Letitia James, a major Orthodox Jewish group, just today announced that they're ranking you number 1. But you have said publicly that you're, in terms of endorsements, one that you regret making is believing that Eric Adams would be a strong mayor, that he is someone who is still running, not on debate stage of the night, because he's now as an independent. So how do you square that call, that you believe that at the time that Adams would be good for New York, and now explain why you don't think so?
Oh, sure. I've been working with the mayor as Speaker, in co-leadership with him for over 3 years, and the relationship that I thought was going to be a collaborative one. I come from a management background. I'm not a career politician. I was in the corporate life, the private sector for almost 20 years. So I build my foundation on management skills, coalition building. That is what I've brought with me as Speaker, as a council member now. And that is the relationship that I would hope to have had with the mayor of the city of New York. Unfortunately, that relationship deteriorated for reasons really that kind of unbeknownst to myself, but it's very unfortunate. So when I made the statement the other night, that is a huge regret of mine in thinking that the mayor would be a mayor for all New Yorkers. And I found that that was not the case, obviously, now especially with the relationship with Donald Trump, the indictment with the mayor, what happened after that, the subsequent release, I will say, of his case. Judge Dale Ho saw it a different way. A lot of folks saw it as quid pro quo. And now we see where the mayor should be speaking up against things that are going on in New York City with regard to ICE and Donald Trump, the administration, a whole gamut of things. That is not the case.
Madam Speaker, I mean, you just mentioned ICE and immigration in this city. This is a city of immigrants, as are
Yes.
many large American cities. We depend upon immigrants. Unfortunately, some of them have the application attached to their names. They're here illegally. So what do we do about that? Because people look at it and it somehow gets into the larger issue of quality of life in the city. Some people apparently feel the quality of life in this city is slipping because of expenses and things like that. But the illegal aliens here who are necessary, they do the jobs that a lot of people won't do. What do we do about the quality of life issue?
Well, quality of life is extremely expansive. When I think of quality of life, I think of a whole lot of things, especially as one that has lived in Southeast Queens all of my life. And the issue of undocumented immigrants, though, for me, folks just want to make a living. Coming from a place that was not the great country like the United States is. I feel that this still is the land of opportunity for everyone. We should be welcoming people, and like you just said, the workers. The work needs to be done here, and we have willing workers in undocumented immigrants. There needs to be a pathway to working and to citizenship in the United States.
Speaker Adams, Gene Robinson is in Washington with a question for you. Gene?
Speaker Adams, just one question. Aside from immigration, what is the biggest issue facing New York City right now? What will be as mayor, what will be your big first focus?
Yeah, thank you, Gene. It's good to see you. The focus really is, and there are a few priorities, as has been for many, many large cities. We have an issue with housing, obviously. We are going to have to build our way out of this housing deficit. I've started doing that and unlocked over 120,000 units of housing for New York City. Once again, I'm a candidate in this race that doesn't need to know where to start. I just need to know how to keep on expanding on what I'm already doing. But I believe that it would be housing.
At the risk of getting bogged down in a civics lesson, can you explain ranked choice voting? That will be in this prime. You don't have to explain the whole process, but just how it impacts who you campaign, how you campaign, who you talk to, and your goals here.
Yeah, great question. New York now will have an opportunity for the second time that a mayor will be elected, and New Yorkers have the opportunity to use the ranked choice voting system. It is where you don't have not one bite at the apple, you've got 5. So you have 5 opportunities to make your wishes known as who you would want to be the next leader of the city of New York. You would rank in order. Your ballot comes out. It says the list of candidates, and you have out of a number of candidates, you would rank your first choice, your second choice, your third choice. If this one doesn't work, I want this one here, and so forth and so on. So the ballot is relatively simple. You are ranking in order of your choice of who you want to be mayor.
And that will happen very soon. The New York City mayoral primary takes place 2 weeks from today. Absentee voting already has started. In-person early voting begins on Saturday. Get out there and vote. Democratic candidate for New York City mayor, New York City Council Speaker, and the pride of Hollis, Queens, along with Reverend Run and LL Cool J,
That's right.
Adrienne Adams. Speaker Adams, thanks so much. Good to see you.
Very much. Great to see you.